Hi there, and welcome to the Hot Slice podcast. I am your host, Denise Greer, executive editor here at Pizza Today, and I'm rocking solo today. So we already have our guest on the line. So we are with Hillary Lake from Hillary's Chicago Pizza in St. Augustine, Florida. So, hey, Hillary, how are you doing?
Hello, I'm good.
All
Good
right, so
today.
you just got through your first July 4th holiday. We kind of were talking for a brief second before we started on how that went. So kind of tell us a little bit about entering into a holiday in your first year and kind of what your expectation was and kind of how you're going to kind of remold from there.
We decided to open just for lunch because our lunches have been growing. So we thought, maybe people will come before the big old fireworks show. So we did have a little lunch, probably
Hmm.
about half of what we usually have because we closed at 3 o'clock. So we didn't
Hmm.
get the happy hour crowd or anything. Um, So I don't know. I know we just mentioned too it's on Friday next year, so I'm not sure about that one. Um, yeah,
I
I don't
got
know.
I gotcha. So let's just talk about kind of your origin story because you have a pretty fun origin story. So let's talk about, how you got your business started. And I know Florida, you have a lot of transplants, so you have a
Mhm.
lot of us Midwesterners that have moved down there, so they're well aware of what Chicago pizza is and all of its glory. So just kind of enlighten us about starting the business.
Sure. I had a restaurant in Chicago before I moved here, and it was
Mhm.
not pizza. And I thought that people who open pizza restaurants are crazy because there's so many of them. Um, so obviously in Chicago, I would have never even considered doing pizza because we have the best pizza. Here, though, is a completely different story.
Okay.
And I, during the pandemic, actually, is when I decided to start experimenting with pizza.
Yeah.
So I missed my comfort deep dish pizza. So I found a recipe on the internet and just started playing with the recipes. And also, I just want to say real quick that it's not true that Chicago natives don't eat deep dish pizza. We do.
Okay,
We don't
okay.
eat it every day,
So
but we
that's a
do eat it.
myth that
That's a
only
myth.
Chicagoans drink or do the thin crust, right?
We do eat thin crust more often for
Yeah.
sure, but we do crave our deep dish as well. So that's what I was craving, and I just figured it out. And then I previously was doing like some event planning and catering. So I just threw it up on my Facebook page, and people were like, "How do I get some of that?" I was like,
Uh-huh.
I guess I can sell it to you." So I started doing driveway pop-ups during the pandemic. I partnered
Wow.
with some tap rooms and breweries, and we did like pizza beer pickup
Hmm.
pop-ups. So basically, it was just selling par-baked deep dish pizzas. And then after the pandemic settled down, we started doing a farmer's market
Hmm.
and then another farmer's market. And it just kind of snowballed. And I was in a commissary kitchen that didn't have any air conditioning.
In
So in
Florida.
Florida,
Ouch.
summer, that was brutal. Our dough was like exploding everywhere. It was like
As I say, how
this.
many times did you have to throw out dough because it just blew?
Well, we figured out to keep it in the cooler and just
Okay.
take out a couple balls at a time when we were working with it. Because yeah,
Wow.
we figured that out really fast because it was just so hot in there with the ovens, and it was wild. So yes, after last that July, I was like, I am not going to stay in this kitchen another
Yeah.
summer. So I started the hunt. Wasn't sure what exactly I wanted. I kind of wrote down a list of things that I wanted. I wanted like somewhere people can sit and also take out stuff and have a kitchen that was big enough for me. Then that had air conditioning. So one of our farmers market friends that actually lived in St. Augustine told us about the location we're in. It was a tap room, and they previously did hot dogs but quit doing their food during the pandemic. So they were just looking for someone to use the kitchen while they still sold the beer.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I, did some pop-ups there and checked out the kitchen, it was adequate. I said, all right, I'll use you as my commissary kitchen. This is great. And then he's like, full disclosure, the whole business is up for sale right now. And I was like, what?
Oh, golly.
If I move in and someone buys it, then I have to move out and start this process all over again. So I was like, let me figure this out. So I slept on it probably a day, and I was like, I'm gonna figure out how to buy this place. So
Okay, like by the
yeah.
brewing operation and everything?
So it's not a brewing operation,
Okay,
it's a
okay, just
24
tap
tap,
room.
yeah,
Okay,
tap room. So
okay,
24 taps of craft beer. But yeah, basically buying the turnkey restaurant. So all
okay.
the equipment in the back. There was an oven, a convection oven, which is what we were using. So yeah, I figured it out. I had no money, but money just came.
You're like, I'm gonna, if I put it out there, I can make it happen, right?
Yeah. So I did
Yeah.
some crazy stuff. I sold like pizza of the month club
Mm-hmm.
to get like a down payment. Obviously asked friends and family.
Yeah.
And then we did
So you kind of
this.
cobbled it together to be able to do
Yep.
it without major investment or major
Well,
loans
not
and
really.
things.
It was a six-figure purchase. So
Okay.
we did a crowdfunding investment raise
Okay.
through a platform called Honeycomb.
Okay. Yeah.
Um, yeah, we did that twice to pay off the old owner. And
Okay.
so now I do have those loans, but
Oh, nice.
it's ours. It's ours
Yeah.
now, so we're all
Now,
good.
did that include did that include the purchase of a building or the lease on a building?
Just a lease.
Okay.
Just a lease on space. Yeah. But I have friends here that have been trying to open a restaurant for 4 years now, all
Yeah.
the, build out and stuff.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, yeah, this is cheap to
Yeah.
jump in
Yeah, it
and start
is.
selling pizza and beer right away. So, yeah.
Oh, that's an amazing story. There are so many people that we call them pandemic babies, like that are products of the pandemic. I'm sure there are several listeners, that are products of the pandemic because I think the pandemic it breeded a whole bunch of people that had an interest in making pizza. And so when they monetized their home experiences, they're
Mhm.
like, wait, I can do this. I can, And so with your restaurant experience, how different was it having a non-pizza restaurant versus opening and operating a pizza restaurant?
So, not too much different. And I feel like having had the experience of
Hmm.
opening something before, I skipped a lot of things that I could have messed up. Like it was pretty easy, you know what I mean? For me, I
Yeah,
feel like
so
I
just
knew.
natural for you. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Obviously the pizza difference is we had to go find a deck oven, which was
Hmm.
interesting.
Yeah.
Because of course, if I was gonna have a restaurant, I'm gonna have to do thin crust pizzas.
Yep.
So so we figured that out, and we started out with like a little two deck, tiny one, two pizzas at a time deck. So we
Yeah.
did that for
We
like,
had one of those at the Pizza Today office. It was so fun.
okay,
An
yeah,
old
and
baker's
that's what I
pride. It was
did
cool.
for like 6 months.
Yeah.
It
Oh,
was
wow.
crazy.
So you're
Yeah,
just slamming pizzas in and out of that little deck
yeah.
oven. Wow.
So
So,
we would start them in the convection oven and
mhm.
then flip them up to the deck.
Oh,
So yeah,
wow.
yeah,
Oh, geez. So let's
yeah.
talk about what pizzas you're offering. So you're doing a Chicago deep dish,
Hmm.
and then are you doing Chicago thin as well? Uh,
Yes.
okay. So let's talk about like the dough, or do you have different doughs for those two products, or are you
So
modifying the same dough? Like,
that is a funny story also. So
oh,
um, I was testing out all these recipes for the thin crust. And
mhm.
then one day, my son, who works with us, took the dough, rolled it out real thin, and made a thin crust pizza. And I tasted and I was like, holy shit, that's it. Like, that
That's
is it.
it.
So no, we don't use any different dough. We just weigh it out in different weights. That's it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we have
That's
one separate dough, vegan dough, because we do use butter in our dough.
okay.
So we modify the vegan dough and just use olive oil instead of the
Hmm.
butter.
Okay.
So, but we
What
still
is
use the cornmeal.
what is the butter? What does the butter do? Why do you like the butter? What's the butter?
Um, so it gives it, I don't know, just a little more, I don't know, it has a little more flavor, kind
Yeah, and are you using
than,
clarified butter or unsalted
nope,
butter or
just
salted
unsalted,
butter?
regular butter. My
Okay.
son melts it and then puts it in the dough. Yep.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
that's really interesting.
So like,
We had a buttered dough win at International Pizza Challenge. So I've always been
okay.
curious about them after that pizza won. Because butter,
Yeah.
usually people think of oil, and different fats for pizza dough. And so using the butter is just it's a fun take on it.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, uh, it's a little more expensive probably because
Oh,
quite a bit
sure.
goes in there. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't know if it also like helps it be more crunchy too, but
Hmm.
because it is like our crust is crunchy, crunchy, like our
Yeah.
deep dish pizza outside. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Genevieve Ruby, a fifth generation dairy farmer here in Humboldt County, California. Did you know that 99% of California's dairy farms are family owned? And we're proud to sustainably produce the milk that goes into quality cheeses you use to create your delicious pizzas. Thanks for helping make California not only America's #1 dairy state, but the leading producer of mozzarella too. We hope you enjoy this podcast.
Performance Food Service is proud to deliver high-quality products, innovative technology, and custom operational solutions to restaurants of all sizes across the country. The flagship division of Performance Food Group, with deep roots in the restaurant industry, Performance Food Service has been the exclusive distributor of the Roma family of brands for more than 65 years. This signature relationship has allowed Performance Food Service to become a leader in the pizza and Italian segment of food service nationwide.
So which pizza is more popular with the Floridians or the, I guess, Midwesterner Floridians that come down there? Like
It's kind
what's
of
more
neck and
popular?
neck.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah. I did not think that would be that way either. I thought, oh
Okay.
my God, in this hot climate, no one's
Yeah.
going to want to eat deep dish pizza, but it's about half and half. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now you're in your first year of operation.
Well,
You
this
know,
year and a half right now.
year and a half. So you
Yeah.
have a year under your belt.
Yeah.
So what did you learn in that first year that you've been able to kind of tweak or kind of just, bring in to settle into that second year? What are some things that you've learned?
Hmm. What have I learned? Um, People are crazy. They're still crazy.
Yeah, we kind of figured that.
Um, I don't know. I don't feel like I've learned too much except for not people being crazy, but like generosity and community of
Hmm.
this area too. Like the restaurant people here are super supportive of each
Hmm.
other. They all like I've had to borrow pizza boxes and stuff.
Yeah.
So, I mean, everyone here is really like a community and they support each other. And then the actual like I learned that there's so many Midwesterners here, and I didn't realize there were so many
Yes,
Chicago people here at
there
all
are
until
a
I started
lot.
making pizza.
And especially
Yeah.
in the wintertime when the snowbirds show up, right?
Oh yeah.
Because
Oh
if
yeah.
you don't know snow, if you don't go to the south and you don't understand, like in places like Florida, Arizona, Texas, Southern California, there are these people called snowbirds that come down just for the winter season, and so they're actually seasonal residents, and
Yes.
you do get a lot of those.
Yes. So that is actually one thing that I'm learning is the trends of how people come and go. So
Hmm.
like June is kind of slow
Yeah,
because our Floridian people are leaving, the snowbirds left,
yeah,
and Midwestern vacationers are not here yet. So
yeah.
it was like, screeched to a halt like the third week in June. I was like, oh my God, what is this? Slowest
Yeah.
Saturday ever. Like crazy.
So when do you think it
Um,
picks back up? What, like July, after
we
July
saw
4th?
an uptick last week.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. So all the
hopefully that's,
vacationers are here.
yeah,
So
hopefully that's normal now.
with such a diverse clientele, how are you able to reach them? Because you have the locals, you have the transplants, you have the seasonal residents, and then you have the tourists. Like who are you primarily trying to get, and how are you reaching them?
So I'm primarily trying to reach all of them.
Okay.
um, so I do a combination of things. I do some home magazines, money pages to
Hmm.
reach the homes.
Yeah.
And then I do a lot of Facebook marketing where I
Hmm.
target things. And some of my ads even say, are you a Chicago transplant looking for pizza for the last 20 years? Because we hear
Oh,
that one a lot.
nail it. Yeah.
Yeah. So I actually put that out there. And then like our locals, I try to do events and stuff and partner with charities so that I get different clientele that would not even know we exist.
Okay.
I'm going to be visiting all these businesses. When we go out, we bring industry cards and give them to the like local bartenders and servers and stuff so that
Yeah.
we're on their radar.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I do. I try to do it all.
That's amazing. And I know that so we first had interaction, I think maybe on email after the Women
Expo.
Pizzeria Owners panel at Pizza
Yeah.
Expo. How important is it for you to be involved in the women's pizza movement? And how much inspiration are you getting from other women in the industry?
So I probably feel like a lot of the women, like, why do we have to be separated out,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, I feel that.
Um, yeah. But also we have to be separated out because there's still not an equal rights amendment. Uh, and we don't have equal rights, and it is harder for us sometimes. So
Yeah.
um, I think, and uh, I think that we do need a little extra cheerleading and things just
Yeah.
because we are women. You know what I mean? Um, and then I feel like sometimes too, I saw one of the women post about how she feels like she's failing with motherhood and the pizzeria at the same time. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I get that 100%. It's hard to do everything 110% as a woman. And I don't think guys have that problem, to
Hmm.
be honest. You know what I mean? I just don't think I don't know if they do or not. They don't talk about it. Obviously, that's another problem.
Yeah.
But
I feel like there
but
is a burden placed on a lot of women, professional women, that they have to do it all. They have to maintain the business, the home, the child rearing, and the nurturing all at once. So, like, there is zero time in a day. And that to me seems like it can be very hard to maintain as a woman. So, I think maybe there
yeah,
are a lot of women out there that are feeling that. I know several that feel that way in the pizza industry.
yeah, yeah. And I mean, I don't know. It's good to support each other and just when you see posts like that, just be like, you're doing the best you can. You're doing it.
You're doing
You
it,
know?
yeah, yeah. And so now that you're a year and a half into the business, what are you growing towards, or what are you looking forward to as you develop Hillary's Chicago Pizza? Like, what are you looking to do?
Well,
Uh-oh, she's got plans.
uh,
I see it.
I also applied to grad school during the
Wow.
pandemic.
Okay.
So I am also getting my master's in social work. So my end goal is to have like a therapeutic pizza farm, and
Okay,
I
I
don't
need
know
to.
where that will be.
Okay, okay, therapeutic pizza farm. We need to know more about this. This is a whole new movement.
Okay, so I'm sure you've heard of pizza farms in the
Yeah.
Midwest, like Minnesota and Wisconsin. So kind of that
But
concept a
share
little
with
bit.
so if anybody listening maybe hasn't heard of what a pizza farm is, they're really cool, but kind of what your vision of a pizza farm is.
Yes. So I would like a little farm, we'll grow the herbs and
Yeah.
stuff like that. Probably not have any livestock or anything, but like a
Okay.
flower garden, and then have the pizza restaurant as part of it. And then the therapeutic part would be running retreats, maybe having some tiny homes on the property,
Oh,
and then
wow.
employing people who are like autistic, Down syndrome, because I worked at a school for special education, and I love that population. And so it's therapeutic for them when they don't have something to do all day, and
Yeah.
kind of they're good workers. I mean, they show up, they do their job.
Yeah.
Because I worked with them in the kitchen at the school, and like a day program for that kind of population. So that's kind of how I want to tie it all together in the big dream world. So we'll
Oh,
see.
that'll be so amazing. So how far are you into your studies?
I have 1 year left of an internship this fall. So
Oh, wow. Well, you're
almost done.
almost there. So,
Yeah.
we're going to wish you lots of luck on getting that finished.
Thank you.
And honestly, we're going to have to bring you back on when the pizza farm is going so that people can understand like the combination of pizzeria, farm, so the social work kind of aspect of it. Because I think it's a beautiful way to tie, you know, some giving back with a pizzeria, because pizzerias are always known for giving back to their communities, and this just
Yeah.
takes it to a whole new level, I think. Well, now, being a young business owner where you're just, what advice do you have on other people that are wanting to get started in this industry and to open up their first restaurant and kind of follow in your footsteps? What advice would you give them?
I would tell them to be prepared to work really, really hard.
Yeah.
Um, you're going to be on your feet quite a bit.
Yes.
um, I would also tell them to, hone people that they can hand things off to. Like,
Hmm.
be a leader. Don't think that you have to do everything all by yourself. There's no way I could do this and go to school if I didn't trust people. And they will mess up, and that'll be okay. You
Yeah.
can fix it. But definitely, yeah, learn how to delegate, um, so that you're not working 80-hour weeks. You will for a short time, for sure, as you're
Yeah.
getting up and running. And I think you should expect that, because it's your baby.
Yeah.
And babies need a lot of nurturing in the beginning. But also
Absolutely.
you want it to grow up and be a teenager and let it like be free a little bit so you could be free too. So yeah. Yeah.
That's amazing. All right. So is there anything else that we need to tell the Hot Slice audience?
Um, try deep dish pizza if you haven't. It's really good.
Yes, absolutely. As
I
a
know deep dish
Midwesterner.
pizza gets a bad rap, right? Um,
I love it.
and yeah, keep eating pizza, everybody. It's
All right.
delicious.
Well, sweet. Well, thank you so much for coming on the show today. And we can't wait to follow your journey and to catch up with you once the pizza farm is developed. And I'll look forward to seeing you at Pizza Expo next year.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me on. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Well, have a great week.
You too.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
You're welcome.